What if I told you the food in your kitchen right now can protect your brain from dementia, sharpen your memory, and cut your stroke risk in half? That is not a supplement ad. That is what the science says. I am Dr. Anthony, and today I am walking you through 3 foods and 3 clinical studies that will change how you think about every meal. If you are new here, hit subscribe right now, drop a like, and share this with someone whose brain you want to protect. Let us get into it. Here is what we are covering. 3 foods, 3 studies, 3 things you can do starting today. First, the Mediterranean diet, and how it cuts dementia risk by up to 27%. Second, matcha tea, and what just half a teaspoon a day did to people's memory and sleep in a Japanese clinical trial. And third, tomatoes, and why the men with the most lycopene in their blood had a 55% lower risk of stroke over 12 years. Stay with me. Mediterranean Diet Part 1. The Mediterranean Diet, 81,000 people, 20 years of tracking, and the result? A 27% lower risk of dementia. No prescription required, no side effects, just food. Let me show you exactly why it works at a biological level. Most people think Italy and Greece, but here is what surprises everyone. There are 21 countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea: Morocco, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, France, all Mediterranean countries, all eating differently. And that is the whole point. This is not one rigid diet. It is a lifestyle shared across cultures for thousands of years. Whole plant foods as the foundation. Extra virgin olive oil instead of butter. Seafood 2 to 3 times a week. Tree nuts for snacking. Herbs on everything. Seasonal vegetables at every meal. Rich, flavorful, satisfying food that your body and your brain absolutely love. Here is the research. Researchers in Budapest analyzed 17 long-term clinical studies. Over 81,000 men and women tracked for up to 20 years. And people who followed the Mediterranean diet most closely had a 16 to 27% lower risk of developing dementia, cognitive decline, or Alzheimer's disease. Think about that. Right now there are still very few effective drugs for dementia. But this eating pattern, accessible to anyone, produces a 27% reduction in risk. Food is the medicine we have been overlooking. So how does it actually work inside the brain? 4 ways. First, the bioactives in Mediterranean foods provide neuroprotection. They protect the blood vessels and nerves in your brain from damage. Blood vessels and nerves in the brain grow together like a road and telephone wires running alongside it. Keep the vessels healthy and the nerves stay healthy. Second, the polyphenols in vegetables, fruits, herbs, and olive oil reduce chronic brain inflammation, one of the root causes of cognitive decline. Third, antioxidants in the diet neutralize free radicals before they can accelerate cellular aging in the brain. Think of it like a missile defense system built into your meals. And fourth, the gut-brain axis. The 39 trillion bacteria in your gut communicate directly with your brain. The fiber in Mediterranean foods feeds those bacteria. They produce anti-inflammatory compounds that enter the bloodstream, reduce brain inflammation, and signal the brain to release neurotransmitters that sharpen your thinking and lift your mood. 4 powerful pathways, all activated by food. Practical tip number 1. Swap your butter for extra virgin olive oil. But not just any olive oil. Extra virgin. And specifically look for monovarietal, made from one type of olive, not a blend. Greek Koroneiki olives, Spanish Picual, Italian Moraiolo. These are exceptionally high in polyphenols, the brain protective compounds you want. I use extra virgin olive oil when I make my scrambled eggs every morning, instead of butter. Same time, same effort. But now I am putting brain-healthy polyphenols into the very first meal of my day. That one swap matters more than most people realize. Practical tip number 2. Next grocery trip, walk the produce section with this in mind. Broccoli, bell peppers, eggplant, that purple skin is literally a polyphenol, asparagus, garlic, onions, leeks, tomatoes of every kind. These are all Mediterranean staples loaded with brain-protective compounds. Not sure how to cook something? Pull up a video search right there in the store. That is exactly what I do. And in the seafood section, salmon, sardines, mackerel, 2 to 3 times a week. Omega-3 fats that keep brain blood vessels flexible and strong. The middle aisle has treasures too. Tinned sardines, mackerel, anchovies, convenient, affordable, and excellent for your brain. And please do not skip the herbs. Rosemary, oregano, basil, thyme. Every time you sprinkle them on your food, you are adding polyphenols that belong in your brain. I want to make sure you really understand this gut-brain connection because it changes how you see food entirely. 39 trillion bacteria live in your gut right now. They eat what you eat. When you feed them fiber-rich Mediterranean foods, they thrive and release compounds called short-chain fatty acids. Those compounds enter your bloodstream, reach your brain and reduce inflammation. On top of that, healthy gut bacteria signal the brain to release serotonin, dopamine and oxytocin, the chemicals behind mood, focus and social connection. Around 90% of your body's serotonin is actually produced in the gut. So when you eat Mediterranean, you are not just feeding your stomach, you are literally improving your brain chemistry. Matcha. Not a sugary matcha latte from a coffee chain. Real matcha powder in hot water, half a teaspoon a day. Researchers in Japan gave this to older adults with early cognitive concerns for 12 weeks and found improvements in memory, deeper sleep and better mood and social connection, all from one tiny daily habit. Here is why it works. Here is the key thing to understand about matcha. When you brew regular green tea, you steep the leaves, the polyphenols dissolve into the water, and you throw the leaves away. You get a fraction of what that leaf contains. With matcha, the entire leaf is stone ground into a fine powder, and you drink all of it. Every polyphenol, every catechin, all the L-theanine, the dietary fiber, the whole thing. That is why matcha is dramatically more potent than regular green tea. You are consuming the complete leaf, shade-grown, carefully processed, and packed with compounds that your brain is going to love. Older adults with mild cognitive concerns. 2 grams of matcha, that is half a teaspoon dissolved in hot water, every single day. For 12 weeks, the results came back across 3 areas. Cognitive function improved measurably. Sleep quality got better, and this matters enormously because deep sleep activates the brain's glymphatic system, which flushes out the toxic proteins that accumulate during the day, including amyloid beta, the protein linked to Alzheimer's. And the participants became more socially engaged, happier, more outgoing, more connected. Why? Because the fiber in matcha fed their gut bacteria, which signaled the brain to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. All of that from half a teaspoon a day for 3 months. 4 compounds working together in every cup. L-theanine, a calming amino acid that reduces stress, promotes focus, and smooths out the stimulating effect of caffeine. This is why matcha gives you calm, alert energy, instead of the jittery spike you might get from coffee. Catechins, especially EGCG, potent anti-inflammatory polyphenols, that protect the brain from oxidative stress and improve circulation. Caffeine, a small balanced dose that keeps the brain sharp. Think of it as a knife sharpener. A little bit keeps the blade crisp, and dietary fiber from the whole leaf that feeds your gut bacteria and activates the gut-brain axis. No other tea delivers all 4 together in one drink. Half a teaspoon. Hot water. Done in 60 seconds. That is the whole protocol. When you are buying matcha, look for ceremonial grade, vibrant green color, smooth rich flavor. You will find it online or at specialty tea shops. If you do not enjoy the taste, blend it into a smoothie and it completely disappears. I personally drink mine in the evening because it relaxes me. If caffeine is a concern for you, drink it in the morning or look for decaffeinated matcha. You lose some polyphenols, but you still get the fiber benefits. The clinical results showed up after 12 weeks of daily use. Make it a ritual and give it 3 months. Your brain is worth 60 seconds a day. Tomatoes. And stroke prevention. Stroke kills brain cells fast and permanently. But what researchers in Finland found over 12 years of tracking more than 1,000 men is that a compound in tomatoes, lycopene, cut stroke risk by 55% in the men who had the most of it in their blood. Over half. Let me show you the study and tell you exactly how to maximize your lycopene intake. A stroke is what happens when blood flow to part of the brain is cut off. The most common type, an embolic stroke, is caused when a blood clot breaks free from a vessel wall, travels up through the carotid artery into the brain, lodges in a small blood vessel, and blocks oxygen. The brain tissue in front of that blockage begins to die within minutes. Memory, speech, movement, personality, gone. That is why prevention is everything. And the biggest risk factors are all diet and lifestyle related. High blood pressure, every 10 points above 120 systolic raises your stroke risk by 20 to 30%. Diabetes doubles stroke risk by damaging vessel walls throughout the body. Smoking doubles it. Atrial fibrillation creates clots that shoot directly into the brain. Heavy alcohol consumption is another major risk factor. Control these and you dramatically lower your risk. And then there is lycopene. University of Eastern Finland, Lapland Central Hospital, 1,031 Finnish men, ages 46 to 65. At the start of the study, researchers measured the blood levels of lycopene, the carotenoid found in tomatoes, in every single participant. Then they tracked these men for 12 years. At the end, they looked at who had strokes and how it correlated to their lycopene levels from the very beginning. Men with the highest lycopene had a 55% lower risk of stroke. And for ischemic stroke specifically, the blood clot type, the most common and most devastating, the risk reduction was 59%, nearly 60%. That is not a minor benefit. That is cutting your risk in half from eating more tomatoes. Lycopene is the natural red pigment in tomatoes, also found in watermelon and papaya. But tomatoes are your best daily source. And it is not just a pigment, it is a bioactive signaling molecule that works in three powerful ways in the brain. 1. It is a potent antioxidant. It intercepts free radicals before they can damage brain blood vessels or neurons. 2. It reduces chronic inflammation, lowering the risk of blood vessel injury and clot formation, the exact mechanism behind stroke. And 3. It actively improves circulation, keeping the arteries and capillaries that supply your brain with oxygen open and healthy. 3 mechanisms. 1 food, eat more tomatoes. 2 pro tips. Pro tip 1, cook your tomatoes. Cooking changes the molecular structure of lycopene in a way that makes it significantly easier for your body to absorb. Roasted tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste, tomato soup, all deliver far more bioavailable lycopene than raw tomatoes. So cook them. Pro tip 2, combine your cooked tomatoes with extra virgin olive oil. Lycopene is fat-soluble, which means it dissolves into fat and your body absorbs dramatically more of it when paired with oil. This is why traditional Italian tomato sauce made with olive oil is not just delicious, it is scientifically optimized. Nonna figured this out centuries before the research caught up. Cook your tomatoes, add your olive oil. That is the formula. Here is your action plan. 3 things. Action 1. Eat Mediterranean style. Swap butter for extra virgin olive oil. Add Mediterranean vegetables to your next grocery run. Aim for seafood twice this week. Herbs on every meal. This pattern has been linked to a 27% lower risk of dementia across 81,000 people over 20 years. Action 2. Drink matcha daily. Half a teaspoon in hot water every day. Clinical results in 12 weeks. Better cognition, better sleep, better mood. Action 3. Eat cooked tomatoes with olive oil. Sauce, paste, roasted, soup, in any form, combined with olive oil for maximum absorption, 55% lower stroke risk from this one habit. 3 actions, all affordable, all delicious, all backed by real science. Start today. Here is the bigger picture. These 3 foods do not just protect the brain. The Mediterranean diet also lowers the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and several cancers. Matcha improves sleep and mood alongside cognition. Lycopene from tomatoes protects your cardiovascular system across the board. These are not isolated effects. When you eat in a way that reduces inflammation, feeds your gut microbiome and protects your blood vessels, every organ in your body benefits simultaneously. Food is information. Every meal is a signal you send to your body about how you want it to function and age. And now you know exactly what signal to send. Print this out. Stick it on your fridge. Cook your eggs in extra virgin olive oil. Eat at least 1 Mediterranean vegetable today. Half a teaspoon of matcha in hot water or a smoothie. A handful of tree nuts instead of something processed. Cook tomatoes in any form, sauce, paste, roasted with olive oil. Seafood twice this week. An herb or spice on every meal you cook. These are small, daily, consistent choices. They cost nothing extra. They take no extra time. And compounded over months and years, they are building a significantly healthier, sharper, more resilient brain. Start today, not Monday. Today. That is it for today. Your brain's future starts on your plate right now. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It helps this information reach more people who need it. Subscribe if you are not already because this is what we do here every week. Share this with someone whose brain health matters to you. And drop a comment below. Tell me which of these 3 foods you are going to start with. I read every single one. Until next time, take care of your brain. It is the only one you have got.